All right, so this is day 4 of our practice plan. So we just finished playing catch, we just finished our on-knee glove work, we just finished our base running. Now we're going to split the entire team up into their infield positions. We're gonna have a catcher behind home plate. We're going to have a coach throwing the ball to the catcher so he can work on throwing to the bases. Okay, so we're gonna start off by throwing, the catcher is gonna be throwing down to second base. Maybe 3 minutes of this or so, depending on how many catchers you have. Don't overextend it, but they also want to get some work in. All right. So in the meantime, while the catcher is throwing down to second base, the first baseman and the third baseman aren't really doing much. So you can have another coach stand off to the side, off to the third base side in foul territory, hit ground balls to the third baseman. They can throw across to first base. First baseman, just place it in a bucket. Then you can hit a ground ball to the first baseman. They can catch the ball, tag the base, and you can do that for the entirety of the 3 minutes until the catchers are done throwing to second. Then after that, now the catchers are going to be throwing to third base. In that way, we're going to stay off to the side. Make sure you stay out of the way of the catcher that's throwing to third. You're going to have all the middle infielders. So the second basemen are going to come over to shortstop. You're going to have them all at shortstop. You're going to hit ground balls to them. They're going to throw across to first base. And then also you're going to hit ground balls to the first baseman as well. After that 3 minutes is up or so, then the catchers are going to be throwing back picks to first base. So we're going to have the second basemen are going to go back to second. We're going to hit ground balls to third. They're going to throw the ball to second. We're going to catch the ball, pretend like we're turning the double play, place it in the bucket, ground balls to short. They're going to flip it to second, and then ground balls to second. They're going to flip to short. So kind of what we're doing is we're really emphasizing catcher throws to the bases, and with the position players that are not active in that catcher throw at that time, we're just going to hit them ground balls and get some ground ball work. All right, so after the catcher throwing, we're going to have 3 stations. The first station is going to be at third base. We're going to have a coach at home plate. We're going to have a catcher at home plate. We're going to hit ground balls to the third baseman. Third basemen are going to field the ball, and they're going to make the play at home plate. There's going to be a tag at home. So we're going to work on catcher tag plays at home plate with ground balls to third base. The second station is going to be full ground balls at shortstop. So we're going to have our coach off to the third base side in foul territory, hitting ground balls to the shortstop. Shortstops are going to field the ball. Let's just place the ball in a bucket. We can work on backhands, forehands, routine. We can work on it all, just getting full length ground balls. And then finally, we can have a coach off on the first base side. And now we can either use, if you have a pitching machine, this is a great time to use a pitching machine. You can use a tennis ball and tennis racket, or you can throw the balls, but there could be a lot of balls thrown here. So I would recommend at least a tennis racket and tennis balls. But what we're trying to do is we're hitting fly balls to the outfielders. Now, obviously, you're limited to what your facility will allow. If the ceilings are only so tall, you have to do what you can do. But what we're trying to do is we're working on our outfielders to get behind the ball, work through the ball, proper footwork, working through the ball. But then you can have a little fun. Like I like to have a little cone out there where I'm trying to hit the tennis balls, have the outfielders or have that station start further and further away from the cone. So now they have to work on drop steps. Now they have to work on catching the ball on the run. Now they have to work on better angles, all of that. If you are using tennis balls, you can have some fun by taking your gloves off and having them catch it barehanded. So things like that, just kind of spice it up, have some fun. So after you do the catcher throwing and then those 3 stations at about 3.5, 4 minutes apiece, you're looking at about 25 to 30 minutes of defense. You're getting a lot of work in right there. So in these stations, again, you're going from third to short to fly balls. Fly ball station is going back to third base. So remember, it's just, you're going to hit each station one time. That puts you at 25 to 30 minutes, and that's going to give you plenty of defensive work for today. So again, that's the wrap up of practice session number 4.